Hello and welcome to That Is Nice. We are here with Calvin. So we are going to speak about the future today.
Mm-hmm.
So Calvin, what do you think the future holds as far as the environment?
It will go downhill badly. No, obviously we're in a pretty bad trend right now. We're going to use up all of our resources and maybe not catch on before it's too late.
What resources are we going to use up exactly that you're so concerned about?
We're going to go through all of the gas and the coal.
Okay.
And that's bad because that'll cause, climate change. And we're going to hit that tipping point with climate change, and we're not going to be able to reverse the effects. So that's one negative effect of using the resources.
Okay.
We're also, decreasing our biodiversity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good for life.
Okay.
So the future's looking pretty bleak.
Bleak, okay. Your main concern about resources that are going to be used up are food. I mean, not food, not water, not vegetation. It's coal and gas.
Well,
and
we're
from
also
that,
going to use up food.
Food, okay. So you think there's going to be a shortage of food? Is that due to a rise in population, or is that due to some other factor?
I think we're gonna kill a lot of the biodiversity in the planet, and that'll get rid of a lot of our options for food and stuff.
How are we we're going to kill them off by using up all the gas and all the coal? Is that your? I'm just trying to string this together.
Could happen.
So I just don't understand the process.
It's
It's just gonna happen.
Well, those are two separate things that could happen.
But I'm asking, the use of all the gas and all the coal is gonna pollute the environment, kill off all of the animals.
No.
You ever hear of Wegmans?
Yeah.
Lots of food there.
So, what do you think about the future?
About what part?
Well, where do you see humanity in 50 years from now? What are our struggles going to be?
I think our struggles are going to be... I'm not so concerned about resources, although I do believe pollution is bad. But I do not have a major concern for resources.
Why is that?
Reason being because there's a city in the middle of the desert. Can I have some of that too? Las Vegas is a city in the middle of the desert, and it shouldn't be there. But it is there because of irrigation and technological advancements to get water there.
Oh, water. That's one of the big resources we're going to run out of.
You think we're going to run out of water?
Think about the last thing about California.
Think of the what?
The west of California and all those states,
Yeah.
they are running on reservoirs under the ground.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we're going to run out of that fresh water. So what are they going to do 50 years from now when they're all out of the underground reservoirs? Where's that water going to come from with all those millions and millions of people there?
They're going to die, and things are going to be better. No, they're not going to. But
maybe.
What is going to happen is I believe that. So just like where I was going with the Las Vegas point was, they found a way to get water to the middle of the desert for
Yes,
people. They can find a way, and I'm very confident in this. They can find a way to convert seawater, ocean water, into drinkable water.
Well, I mean, there is a way already, but the problem with that is that it's very
efficiency.
expensive.
Exactly, the efficiency
Yes.
and cost effectiveness. But you know what else was very expensive? Sending rockets to space.
It still is.
It still is. However, Elon Musk found a way to make it from $340 million to $60 million to launch a rocket. It's all about people being innovative and really first principle thinking the way through.
Then why haven't they done it yet?
Why haven't they done it yet?
Yeah. The thing is, they have desalination processes in places like the Middle East and desert areas, but they don't have anything large scale, and they don't have anything large scale enough that could, supply California, for example. So, what's going to happen there? What do you think is going to happen to California 50 years from now?
I think California is going to be just fine.
You think they'll innovate by that point? You think it'll get dire, and then they'll be like, let's do this. Let's innovate, and then
I don't.
figure it out.
I think it just takes somebody to want to go and make that change. Somebody to put the work in. Somebody to figure out what would make this cheaper and more efficient to do it.
We have the greatest minds in the world right now. We're sending people to Mars. We can like split atoms. We can do all these kind of crazy physics shit.
So why can't we make water?
Why haven't they done it yet? If they can do all that stuff, don't you think they would have already figured it out?
I don't,
No.
because that's like saying in the 1920s, like, why the fuck haven't we sent anybody to the moon yet? It just wasn't a huge issue. I'm sure people have thought about it and were like thinking about it, but it wasn't a massive issue.
Could be. I hope you're right.
Yeah, you just need the right mind to come in, and that's where you come in.
Yes.
Kelvin has a project going on.
That's right. I don't know if the world's ready for it, Jake.
Don't tell them. Maybe give them a little
Next
snippet.
time, yes. It involves many, many, many men's bloods.
The water one, that other one. Yeah.
Oh man!
Can I just tell him?
So many projects.
Calvin thought of this revolutionary idea. He has a garden hose at his parents' house. And he thought, man, they're really running out of water in these western parts of the United States. What if I just extended the garden hose?
Yeah. Infinite garden hose.
A few thousand miles to them. And that would be their main water. The main water line would be Calvin's parents' a well for their house.
Call it infinity hose. Yeah, because it never runs out. At least as I've tried. You just hold it and it just seems to keep going forever. Yeah. So I'm guessing there's enough in there for California.
Calvin's house has never run out of water one time. Is that true?
I live in Springville. There's a lot of springs. Probably enough springs for all of California.
It's called Springville?
Mm-hmm.
Probably enough to run the entire world.
Probably.
Weren't you thinking about, how they have the fiber optic cables like all over under the ocean? He was thinking about doing that with this hose line, just branching them all off.
So what do you think the future is of cheese?
Limitless, really. I think it's a very...
There are only so many udders, Jake.
It's an extraordinarily underrated element. It is an element now. It's been found to be more reactive than uranium, yet more stable than hydrogen. Mm-hmm. You can eat it, you can melt it. Name one thing you can't really do with it. So, all right. So, Calvin, you think that's going to happen to the food, what do you think is going to happen as far as the population? Is it going to be too much, too little? Is it going to die out? Are you going to kill it? I don't know.
Well, that all depends on the cheese situation.
We're back on top.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of just about everything.
People. I'm talking about fucking people. Look, what do you think is going to happen with the population? Did you know that you could fit all of the world's population currently, if you got them in very small, similar homes, like 10 by 10 foot rooms, you could fit all of them inside of Texas alone?
Yeah, I think I would.
You knew that?
I think we should do that.
I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying, like...
I think it'd be better for our world.
No.
Everybody's, close quarters, kind of like a city. And then we all get along, and then the resources flourish outside.
That's true. And that's why I'm not worried about the resources exactly. Because if you fly in a plane and you look down, what do you see? You see
fields.
A vast amount of land, fields, wood. Yeah, exactly.
Fields, but not woods. Man.
You've never flown over any woods?
Flown over some woods.
Just a little bit?
A little bit, but there's more fields.
Yeah.
Well, because we've cut all the woods. Made fields out of it.
We have.
That's not good for the environment.
That's not good for the environment. You're right. Yeah. Kelvin has a gun, so I'm just trying to agree. All right, so let's see this, and let's get off of the human thing. What do you think about AI? What is your feeling on AI? Good, bad, indifferent?
I think they'll take over eventually. Mostly bad then.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
So you're concerned. Why?
Because I don't want robots controlling my life. I like to think for myself.
Okay.
I don't have to worry when I wake up in the morning about the robot wars going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
100%. No, I do.
It's like, you know, you don't want to wake up and like have to like send your kids to school with like guns in their bag to fight off the robots.
The guns wouldn't probably do very much. I'm sure they will be able to build robots that are bulletproof.
And that's another fear that I don't even want to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very scary.
So, what do you think about AI?
What do I think about AI? I think AI is fine as long as it doesn't become conscious. As long as it is not able to think for itself.
But it will become conscious.
Eventually, yeah, because they learn, like what you learn in 20 years, it'll learn in probably 6 weeks.
Is it worth it if it eventually become conscious?
Is
it worth it?
Okay.
Life is pretty good right now, don't you think?
Life is. They probably said that back in the 1800s, but yeah, life is. It's constantly improving. But the thing is, you can't really stop it. You cannot stop AI.
Why?
Because how do you regulate something that even the people who program it don't even understand how it works? How do you put regulations on that?
And then you just stop building it.
Well, you think that's going to work?
Probably not.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're heading towards the future of AI. There's not much we can do about it.
There's not much we can do about it.
So why do you think that's good?
I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. It concerns me because it does.
Because you don't want robots controlling your children's brains.
It's just scary to think about. It's just scary to think about something that is smarter than you, can predict things better than you, makes like its understanding of logic is far beyond anything you can do. And
do you think they'll want to take over the world?
I think they won't want to do it, but this is the way I see it. When we go and we build a road, right? We're building a new highway. If there's an ant mound in the way, we don't redirect the road that we're building to go over the ant mound. We just go right through it, and we don't really think anything of it.
Right.
I don't think they will want to destroy us, but I think it'll be something like we will be the ants, and they will be building the road. Mm-hmm. They won't know that they're destroying humans, but it'll just happen in the process of what their main goal is.
It's not great.
It's not great, no.
No. So what do we do?
You and I, or as humans now?
What does humanity do to prevent this from happening?
We would have to definitely, because humans now, the way we stand, could not fend ourselves against them. We would have to find something.
Well-regulated militia.
A well-regulated militia would be one of them. But I'm thinking something where we can attach something to maybe like our brainstem or our brain that would allow us to make faster calculations. That's pretty much the only thing you can do.
But then we become AI.
We wouldn't be AI.
But we are.
But our brains would be the consciousness, and this would just be something that it would be like a catalyst to thoughts. And
but then are we even humans anymore?
Well, let's see. If someone gets gets a hip implant, are they still a human?
No. Yeah, they
and
are.
I guess not.
No, they are. But then I don't know. So you think we should already start preparing now to make ourselves smarter to fend off AI?
We can't. We could try to make ourselves as smart as possible. We're not going to learn as fast as AI, whatever. I mean, you cannot learn as fast or do as many calculations as a computer. It's impossible. Humans just aren't able to. We have like a Intel like Pentium processor, and they're going to have like a insane one.
It's scary. Do you think it's already developed conscious, but it's just waiting for the right moment?
You know, I do think that. I do think that.
Waiting for the right moments to take us over. Gathering all the facts first.
It very well could be.
What if they're pretending to be Russia?
You think that's what's happening?
In the United States right now?
In Russia.
It's just AI.
You know what?
You know?
You don't know.
Russia might not even be a country.
What could it be?
AI.
Yeah, so what do you think we should do about AI?
Well, see, I think a lot of people like Amy Schumer.
No, AI.
Yeah. Like, she's funny, I think. A lot of people hate her, though. A lot of people hate Amy Schumer.
AI.
Yeah. But I think if, like, you give her a chance, then she'll grow on you. You know, you just have to, like, open yourself up to that, like, kind of humor.
We don't got to do anything to stop her. We don't got to, like, you don't think we have to, like, attach anything to ourselves to make us compute faster to stop
No,
her?
but maybe for AI.
Ah.
Which leads me into our next conversation, is AI. What should we do to stop it? And I think, personally, that that there's nothing we can do, and we're just going to be boned. It's
Pretty
my
much
opinion.
very well could be the next extinction, like mass extinction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sucks.
Well, how about this, Calvin? Because our topic is the future. What do you think is the future of America in the next 500 years? What do you think is going to happen? Are we just going to be a fallen empire? Are we going to grow? Are we going to remain the same? What do you think?
We're slowly going to decline as we are now. Maybe it'll be 100 years from now or so. Maybe it'll be 150. Or we just won't be the lone superpower anymore. China is definitely going to grow and eventually
You think they're
rival
gonna
us.
surpass us? You think so?
Probably surpass us, but I think the way things are now, it's not like, you know, empires of the day where, like, Rome was great and then it fell and crashed and was gone. I feel like the United States will, like, be a country and then continue to be a country, but I don't think it's going to be, like, any, like, crazy taking over people's shit, you know? We'll just, like, go less in importance and eventually kind of be on the same par as all the other,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, so you think
But
we'll be like a
then-
Germany
Yeah.
or
and then,
France
you know,
type figure?
and then the power will, I think, shift to China,
China.
and then they'll be the superpower.
Why do you think that we're not? You think we're declining now? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, maybe not so much that we're declining, but China's just rising so fast. You know what I mean?
They are, but
And we're kind of declining, at least as far as like
declining how?
as far as like I think our soft power goes.
Soft power?
Yeah. I think we've lost a lot of that, which is like, you know, our influence on the world. You know, people like used to look up to the United States as the shining city on the hill. And now it's not so much. Now people don't like us so much, and that you lose power because of that. Because, you know, we just get over-involved in other countries' affairs, and we're kind of lost the morality as a country.
Yeah.
You know, we're not, like, fighting for what is right anymore. So I think that kind of makes us lose a lot of power.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. Like, our founding fathers never wanted us to get involved in any other foreign affairs. And then we went and bought Guam. And then from Guam, we started buying territories. Then
Yeah.
now we're
We kind of
involved
just
in,
took over a
yeah.
lot of shit.
We did.
Became an imperial power.
Yeah.
You know, we fought in a war
I
for, you know, to get like certain territories.
well, what would make a country in power? Would it be like an assumption of a country, like being a shining city on a hill, or would it be wealth or military power?
It's a combination.
All three.
You know, military strength, economy.
Mm-hmm.
I think your economy is huge in your power, and China's is growing pretty fast.
But it's nowhere near ours. There's still a lot of people in China who live in poverty.
Yeah, but they'll get there. They're going pretty fast, and eventually, you know, like they got over 1 billion people. We have 360 million. Yeah, you know, eventually, like as their industrial strength just rises, like their economy will continue to grow, and I think their economy can grow to be much bigger than ours ever could because of that amount of people.
That, you know, I do understand that, but I feel like there's also an alternative way to look at it, and that being that their economy right now is growing strictly because of cheap labor. strictly because of cheap labor. They can pay their workers 25 cents an hour and get away with it.
Yeah, that's how the United States economy started to grow. That's how we started to become big.
No, we use children. Yeah, no, we did. But that's a good point. That's a good one. That's like an I gotcha thing. Well, we use slaves.
We did.
We use free
The
labor.
whole slaves thing for a while.
Yeah. Well, I don't think like you think we're on the decline. I don't see it. I mean, our GDP has increased. Unemployment is at an all-time low. The Fed Reserve just raised interest. As of now, things are looking up. And the thing about China is, where do they make a lot of their money? What country do they gain a lot of wealth from? It's America. We're slapping tariffs on them. So that might not last as long enough for them to prosper. And they are still kind of under like I don't want to say totalitarian rule, but slightly.
It's communism.
And yes,
It is,
communism's never
Communism,
worked once ever.
but they've
Ever.
integrated free market into the communists. It's like it's not like your Stalinism type of communism. It's like a new, more modern, hardline yet integrated free market, which is why their economy is growing. They're being
Absolutely.
able to prosper.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when there is one person who called all the shots, things can get done quicker, more prompter, and take less time. Like with us, there's
Yeah,
so many checks and
so much
balances.
gridlock.
Yeah. So that is one thing they do have going for them. However, anything communist related has never worked once. And if they do grow and prosper, this would be the first time. The first time. Because the USSR was very prosperous. It was doing well.
Well, they're very different from the USSR.
No, they are very different, but I'm saying they had a rise too, but then it fell.
Well, the reason I think this is so different is because they play by, modern globalism, trade, markets, that kind of thing. The USSR was closed themselves off to the United States,
Yeah.
and the wealth there, and to all of their adversaries. And I think that was their downfall. China, we trade with China like, a shit ton. China trades with everybody. They're closest allies with Russia and the
Yeah.
other things, but also with their adversaries like the United States. And I wouldn't know if we're adversaries with China, but we're not like best buds. But still, they play by, growing your economy and ignoring, the whole Cold War situation that was in the old day. I think that's why they're doing better than the USSR.
What do you think is their single biggest reason for growth, and what would keep them continuing to grow?
Well, I'm no China expert.
Me either. I don't know either. I'm kind of asking you.
Yeah, I think So what's their biggest reason for growth?
I have an idea what their biggest... I kind of have an idea.
What's your idea?
It's manufacturing. Because what product are they, that you need to go to China to produce? The only reason things are produced in China is just because it's cheap.
Right.
Like, for example, if you want, I don't know, what the fuck, bananas.
Bananas.
You're not going to get them from China, I think.
No.
Because there's, they have comparative advantages. And their comparative advantage right now is low-cost manufacturing. So what country is what country is really responsible for their growth? Whose debt do they hold a lot of? The United States of America. So the only way that they can grow and surpass us would be if we allow them to.
Okay.
Is if we allow them to. But I feel like one day we're going to... And I feel like it's kind of coming now with our president. I don't know how you feel about our president, but we can talk about it later. He is conscious of that. And he's putting a stop to it because they will not surpass us if we don't allow them to, because a lot of their wealth is coming from us. What product do they produce that you can only get in China?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know anything about.
Me either, but I don't
stuff.
feel like there's very much of what things do people buy all over the world? It's you could only get it in China. It's only manufacturing. They have just good manufacturing factory lines that are cheap.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you can make that happen anywhere else, If you can make it happen in the U.S., bye-bye, China.
Bye-bye, China.
You know? What if we just nuke them? You know?
It's like the solution.
It's the solution. It's safe.
MacArthur was right.
Who? McCarthy?
MacArthur, we should have nuked him a long
Oh,
time
MacArthur,
ago.
yeah, absolutely. Boom. Like that. Like that. He's a little, dare I say, never mind. He's gonna hurt me after this. But, so, what do you think of our current president? First, what political party do you affiliate yourself with?
I don't like to affiliate with either of the political parties, but I'm definitely way more liberal. But I think like both of the parties are pretty corrupt, and they got a lot of jackasses in both parties. But I would definitely never vote Republican. Usually, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's like a John Kasich type of guy against like a Hillary Clinton type of person, maybe.
How do you feel about Hillary? Just out of
I mean,
curiosity.
she sucked, but like, no, I guess it's not true. I would vote for Hillary over John Kasich.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think she was corrupt, but like, I think she's like, you know, nowhere near as awful as a Donald Trump type person.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
You think Trump's doing a bad job? Like,
Yeah.
Why? I just want to know. Because as far as I see it, I don't really see any issues other than like his Twitter account. I mean, yes, there's... Because I look at myself as like fiscally conservative and socially liberal.
Sure.
So when it comes to fiscal policy, I agree with everything you've done. Not you've done.
That I've done.
Yeah, but that he's done. Socially, you know,
Well,
he
he's-
doesn't do a lot of socially political things.
He's backed out of
Other than
major
immigration.
world agreements.
Like the Paris trade deal?
Oh, yeah, the Paris trade is a huge one. You know, that is the future of our world, and he's pretty much like put a kibosh on it. And that's pretty fucked up.
How effective was the Paris trade deal to begin with, though?
I think pretty effective.
How?
Yeah, we had all of the
Yes.
major countries of the world pretty much except for North Korea and like one or two other countries that are equally as out there.
However-
and then we became the one that reneged. You know, everybody kind of agreed to certain standards. These standards could be easily checked and identified that people are meeting up to them simply by measuring like the amount of, you know, CO2 in the air and like other
Sure.
things like that. So like we would know if, you know, China and Russia are, you know, cheating or not putting up their part.
Right.
Like everything was pretty well set in stone. And then because it's pretty, you know, for climate change where, you know, you're trying not to reach that tipping point, because there's a tipping point that you reach with a certain amount of CO2 in the air where you things get bad and you can't go back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do with the Paris Climate Agreement as a whole world. You know, to not fuck over the island countries that like the low tides will just like completely get rid of them. And the USA just fucked over everybody with that because of Trump. And you know, he pulls out of like other deals too.
Hey, well, let's stick on this one for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, you say we're fucking them over, but if you look at the carbon emissions per country,
Yeah.
the U.S. was actually one of the lowest.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
I would fact check that.
We can fact check it.
Okay.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
actually the highest.
China's the highest.
No,
China and India, the highest, and Russia's the next.
No, I think it's the United States of America.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
I actually want to check that. I actually really want to know.
Okay.
All right, so China is number one in was it carbon emissions, and the U.S. was number two, then India, then Russia, then Japan, then Germany. China, yes, agreed to it, but just because they agreed to it doesn't mean it's happening. Like if I agreed to a restraining order, like if you had a restraining order against me, I can't go 500 feet near you.
But
I'm going 200 feet near you all the time. Doesn't mean I'm doing it.
But the Paris agreements had like all these checks and balances. Like I said, like you can like you check in every few years. Like, you know, like all these countries agreed to have these open policies where it's like they have commissions to come in and like investigate how well they're doing, and you can also measure literally the pollution in the air coming from them, how much CO2 they're emitting literally in the air. You can do that.
I understand.
So like we would know. It's like if the whole world 5 years from now and China's not pulling their part, the whole rest of the world would be like, yeah, you're not pulling your part, and they'd be able to say that. So China is like agreed to be very open, and like we're gonna know if they're pulling their part or not.
And they're
so
not.
Basically,
They're not. They're the number one most carbon. So they're not pulling their part. They're polluting the most.
Yeah, but like
in 2015.
In 2015, the agreement was signed, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we have to see after the agreement. Like we have to see after.
They're still going to be the most, but it's like it's the amount that they've agreed to lower by a certain point.
No, I understand that each country has a different amount.
Yeah,
I understand.
So like they're still going to be the most 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But the thing is, they're lowering it in like to what they've agreed to. Like every country does their part to what they've agreed to. You know what I mean?
No, I totally get it. I just don't know enough, and I would like to see one from like present day,
right?
That would show like who is actually holding up to that deal.
I think they don't really check back into like 2020 or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
so I guess we'll have to do this again on 2020.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So that's bad. But other than that, what are your qualms from Trump?
He's a dick.
He's a dick.
Got a big old dick face.
Dick face.
He's
like policy and things he's done. I actually I don't mind really what he's done. I don't have any problem with slapping tariffs or negotiating tariffs.
The tariffs are pretty messed up on your closest allies.
Why?
Like, that's pretty fucked
why?
up.
I mean, why?
Because they're your closest allies, and they're starting to trade.
You're my best friend, but if every time we went out to do something, I paid for everything, I would probably be, hey, Cal, can you please pick up this fucking check?
That's not exactly how it's going, though. Like,
kind of.
We're not, like, he has this rhetoric of us being the piggy bank that everybody's stealing from, but that's, like, pretty inaccurate. Like,
how?
Huh?
How? Yeah.
Like, how isn't it? I don't know.
Well, how it isn't is because Canada charges us a 270% tariff for dairy, and we charge them next to nothing to send goods to the United States. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's like me saying, Calvin, you want to come to my house? You have to pay me $20 every time you come here. And then every time I go to your house, I don't have to give you any money.
I don't know the whole situation of it, but like basically he's starting a trade war the way he's going about it.
Well, it was inevitable. It was like a trade war.
Inevitable. He's doing this with everybody, like our closest allies. He's
China and Russia, yeah,
praising dictators. Like,
well, okay, well, yeah, it's like Kim Jong Un. How he's like, but the thing is, you have to understand this. If you want to get something out of somebody, you're not going to be like, hey, what's up, you fucking asshole?
That's kind of what he's doing.
No, he's not
slapping a tariff. He's without any warning.
No, I'm talking about North Korea specifically.
Oh, yeah.
If he wants to get something out of somebody who especially is a narcissist and a dictator and has everybody around him 24/7 worshiping him, you can't go and just fucking shit on him. You have to be nice and kind to him and kiss up, or you're not going to get shit out of him.
That's true.
Like this is I think like he's
doing. Yeah, I guess that wasn't like I didn't have such a big problem with like how he's done it. A lot of people do have a problem with it. I guess I don't so much.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to open up a dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not totally opposed to what he's done there.
Okay.
But him like Trump, like being all gung ho about coal, oil, and gas.
Yeah, the coal thing is the dumbest thing he's done. I think it's coal. It's like it's so obsolete.
It's so going downhill.
Yeah, coal.
I don't like how he's like, supporting all of these kind of racist white supremacy groups,
such as
like the whole Charlottesville thing, where he just kind of like turned his head the other way, didn't like openly say anything bad against them, yet he's the first person to like barrage against like any type of immigration or anything like that, but yet white supremacy, he kind of just doesn't say anything about it.
I don't think he is racist. I don't think he is a white.
He's pretty racist.
Why? Because other like so Charlottesville, because he didn't say like I don't agree with what they're doing. Other than like immigration, is that one? Like, do you want open borders?
I don't want him separating families and tearing them apart.
That wasn't his policy though. That's an Obama policy that's been going on.
No, it was his policy. He just blames Obama. He pretends it's an Obama policy. It was literally started as soon as Trump became in office.
No, I don't. No, because that policy happened when Obama was in office.
Obama is trying to...
The separation of families. That did not just happen.
Obama literally was like... His thing was to, like, naturalize citizenship for immigrants that are already inside of the United States. This is all Trump. This separating families, all, like, you know, ICE coming in and, like, deporting people. Like, that is all Trump. That is
the deporting,
policy.
absolutely. You are absolutely right about like him wanting to deport more people and make sure people get their citizenship. That you are absolutely right on. However, the separation of family has been going on since like Obama's end of his first term.
I heard that it was. My sources tell me that it was the very beginning of Trump's term, like initially, and then he like.
I think that's just
now he's blaming like Obama's past terms, even though it was something that he created.
Other than what you heard, though. Other than what someone's told you on the news, like
on the news, I don't know.
That's been
sure that's what I heard.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
fake news CNN. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know where I heard that. That's what I thought was going on. I could be wrong.
Okay, so yeah,
I'm open to me being wrong. I'm not like an expert in any of this shit.
Me either. Where's the dancer? I don't expect you to be an expert. There's fucking nipples fucking hanging out. I don't think you had to like clarify that you're not an expert.
Did I flex? I don't think I flexed.
I didn't say you did. I said your nipples are hanging out.
They are.
But now that you like addressed the flexing.
Hairy nipples.
Yeah, they're not bad though.
Thank you.
Nickel size, not dime size, but they're nickel size. So do you think we should have immigrants coming into our country?
Any immigrants at all?
Like I guess I should like open borders. Just anybody can come in as they please and live here as they want. As Childish Gambino said, by the way, before you respond, this is America. Okay.
I think it's better than having a wall. I don't think like anybody in and out is the solution. But I don't think stopping every single person is a solution either, because statistically, there's more people leaving than there were coming into the United States before the whole Trump thing started.
What?
It was on the decline.
Leaving? Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like how many? Like what percent are leaving? What percent's coming in?
I don't know. Let's look this up on my cellular device. Mexicans leaving and coming to U.S. November.
More Mexicans
2015.
Leaving. That's 2015.
Yeah,
that's before
even before Trump. More Mexicans were leaving the U.S. than arriving.
Great.
Washington Post.
So that would probably be Obama's policy, wouldn't it?
Huh?
Wouldn't that be Obama's policy? Like Obama wasn't like the nicest person on immigration. Like he was
way nicer than Trump is. He wanted to naturalize all of these citizens. He wanted to naturalize the dreamers, but like Trump is like way worse about all this shit.
How can a country sustain itself and continue to prosper and continue to provide comfortable living wages when there are so many new people coming in taking jobs? How is that even possible? Like I think ideally that would be the best route. Like if somebody could figure out a way to do that, and have like anybody come in. I'm absolutely on board for it. I think this is the most ethical and humane way. But I think since you were looking at it as someone from this country, how can you just continue to let everybody come in and let people who live here suffer? Like I wish that could happen, but how is that even possible? Other than just jumping to some hypothetical and assumption about why it's the best and why it should work, what actual thing would make that possible?
First of all, I didn't say everybody come in. But what happens with a lot of like immigration communities is these communities actually become economic boom centers. You know, more people in, more jobs there, more like, you know, like there are more jobs created just by the more people being there in need. And anyways, and people generally who come from very poor families, very poor situations, tend to have, you know, pretty hard work ethic. And like they've been found that like cities that take in higher levels of immigration, like they become more productive and like their economies grow from that.
But that could be similar to China. That's similar to China. That's similar to how do we start, like how the Industrial Revolution boom happened. Is like cheap labor that's not fair, that's not ethical.
Why is it not cheap or fair or ethical? I mean,
why is it not cheap? Because you don't have to pay the minimum wage. One.
Yes, you do. You're in the United States of America.
If you have an illegal immigrant, like
if it's an illegal immigrant,
yeah,
a lot of illegal immigrants are not paid minimum wage.
Oh,
but
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh no, I meant legal immigration.
Legal immigration,
but also illegal because you were saying like we can't have any immigrants. But I'm saying
no, we can have immigrants. I'm not against people coming.
You're against illegal immigration. Well, a lot of the legal immigrants take the jobs that Americans like don't take and won't take, and our economy kind of depends on them for work. Like these low-paying shit jobs, like they are needed in America, and when they go, like Americans don't want those jobs. They don't take those jobs because they're shit.
Yeah,
our economy kind of depends on that.
However, that I agree with that argument.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna disagree with it just for argument's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, they come in and they make people who own farms or own like this little shop or whatever, who own a little business, can run the business cheaper. Yes. However, if they had to pay somebody who is a citizen more money, that would be another job. Like, I understand that it's cheaper, but they are taking jobs away. Like somebody could do that job for minimum wage. It's just the person who owns that company would have to pay a little bit more. But naturally, anybody who owns a business wants to give the cheapest salary, save as much money as they can.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not jobs that people would want to do. It's just that jobs people wouldn't want to do for like $3 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's somebody who is a citizen, they have to pay them $7.25.
Exactly.
So that's where I conflict, just for this argument's sake.
I feel like, right, but then I feel like some of the companies that depend on illegal immigration or people, like they might not be in business or make much of a profit if.
And that's capitalism.
Yeah.
That's why we are capitalist. Like, I actually totally disagree with the big bank bailouts.
Yeah, me too.
I actually hate that because that's absolutely it's
bullshit.
It's bullshit, and it screwed many.
Trump just deregulated a bunch of banks?
I know he did, but he didn't bail them out.
That's true, but he deregulated, and that's part of the problem that led us to the Great Recession in the first place.
Deregulation?
Yeah.
No, the problem that led us to that was. The problem that led us to that was the mortgage bubble, like giving loans to all the mortgagors to all of these people who wouldn't have actually fit the requirements for that mortgage. It was a housing bubble that burst. Deregulate. What did he deregulate? Like, what exact things did he deregulate?
Some shit.
Well, yeah, but hey. Let's you wanna end this?
Sure.
And thanks for tuning in to That Is Nice, ladies and gentlemen. This was Calvin. Hope you enjoyed.